Welcome, my dear friends, to the universe, to What Is. In this video I'm going to try to summarize and talk a little bit about the information I could find about the game that is No Man's Sky. I'm really excited about this game, and hopefully this video can help both you and me to get a grasp on what the game is going to be. No Man's Sky. A science fiction game set in an infinite, procedurally generated galaxy with a truly open universe. Whether a distant mountain or a planet hanging low on the horizon, you can go there. You can fly seamlessly from the surface of a planet to another, and every star in the sky is a sun that you can visit. And where you'll go and how fast you'll make your way through this universe is up to you. It's yours for the taking. When I first read that explanation written on the game's own website, I have to say that it sparks all kinds of imaginations in my head. To create an infinite, procedurally generated galaxy is indeed a grand feat in itself, and that task should be applauded. But what does it entail exactly? No Man's Sky being a procedurally generated game basically means that, for this case, the game's world and universe is being created as time goes by an algorithm as opposed to being created manually, as a lot of other game developers do. Another very popular game that we already have on our hands that is a good example of what a procedurally generated world can offer is Minecraft, for example. These worlds do usually not feel as handcrafted and polished as the huge world of, say, for example, Grand Theft Auto 5 or The Elder Scrolls Skyrim, but they do have their own charm and sense of randomness that handcrafted worlds just can't offer. And they leave tons of room for developers to spend their focus on other things than just handcrafting the game's map and universe. And the worlds we have seen so far from the game look vibrant, beautiful, and full of life and opportunity. But the game does not only look wonderful once on a planet. Up in space, there's a lot of activity and exploration opportunities as well. Sean Murray, the managing director of Hello Games, estimated that it would take a single player roughly 5 billion years to visit each and every planet in No Man's Sky, excluding time for eating, sleeping, and generally staying alive. A more detailed explanation involves understanding 32 and 64-bit numbers. Suffice to say, it's really big, this world and universe. In a universe inhabited by thousands of players, there will be discoveries you, and only you, will ever experience. For my inner James Cook, that is a sale pitch that really makes my exploration urge come alive. And what a journey it probably will be. But the game won't be a massive multiplayer online game and an open world multiplayer in the traditional sense, according to Sean Murray. It's not a deathmatch game that you sit down with your friends and try to excel at outscoring someone else. But players will be playing in a shared universe. And the developers don't want you to feel like you're alone in this universe, as some places might already have a name once you get there, set by another player, as well as other types of interactions in the universe and things that other players and AI have left behind for you. And you will be able to come across other explorers, but it appears to be such a small part of the game that the developers do not want that to be the focus or selling point of the game. There will also be an atlas that every discovery a player make will be uploaded to and for other players to check out. Since so many players can contribute to this, it's probably going to end up being a very vast library of all kinds of weird animals and life forms and so much more. But with that said, the game won't solely be an exploration game. There will be action elements with a galactic police force, pirates, killer robots, and all kinds of other factions, with a lot of dangers out there for the ones who want to satisfy their need for action. Blow away the local wildlife, mine a planet dry, or disrupt life too much on these planets, and an immortal race of self-replicating machines called the Sentinels will descend upon you and deliver space justice. The more chaos you cause, the more robots will come after you, much like the wanted levels in the Grand Theft Auto series. Alternatively, you can quietly mine a planet's natural resources, which is based on the developer's own made-up periodic table. Which is, by the way, pretty cool if you ask me. And you can combine these elements to create new alloys and either sell them at a galactic market or use those alloys and elements to craft new items and equipment. There will be a bit of everything here depending on what kind of playstyle you prefer. And depending on what playstyle you will adapt, you might want to help different factions. If you help pirates or another faction while they raid a trading station or are being attacked by something, you might actually make a long-lasting friend. that in the end you can even call upon in order to get some extra backup when needed. But not only is the world procedurally generated, but so is also the ships that you can buy, and a lot of other things that you can buy as well, which will probably result in a vast amount of unique tools and gadgets that you will be able to use in the game and on your journey, and probably all with a very quirky randomness to them if you like that. It's going to be a blast to try explore and utilize all this, at least for me. You will have a vast amount of ship and weapon upgrades to discover and use on your journey with a lot of different properties. But one big part is to use your sort of multi-gun tool that has similar properties of the tricorder from Star Trek, sort of. So it's probably going to be used for a lot of information gathering, scanning and gathering all kinds of materials, providing you have the right upgrades. Upgrades are done by gathering and using alien technologies that you collect while you explore. Scanning new animals and other things in the world while you explore and uploading those to terminals across the universe is what will give you a lot of your currency. And the rarer the discovery, the more currency that will result in. But it will also be a factor of how hard and dangerous it was to explore that specific planet. The more risk you put yourself in, the more reward you get. And such, weighing how much of a risk you want to take and can handle will be a deciding factor in your personal success. You can also name all your discoveries. For example, I could have 100 different animals named Sag 1, Sag 2, Sag 3, and so forth. Really trying at least to set my own mark in this universe. Not sure if I will succeed since it's gonna be so goddamn huge. Death in No Man's Sky is supposedly pretty punishing, so be wary in fights and dangers, and getting destroyed and starting over seems to be a big part of the learning curve of the game. Getting killed while on a planet is not the most punishing of deaths, since you will respawn at the last visited terminal and only lose the progress you've done since the last time you were there. Dying in space, however, is pretty unforgiving. Not only will you lose your discoveries, but you will also lose your ship. But not all hope is lost. A basic ship will always be available for you free of charge when you respawn back at the space station, but it won't get you very far unless you start upgrading it again. If you're short on cash for upgrades, you just have to crash on the nearest planet and start mining your way back to financial stability, or at least enough to get you a better jump drive. But losing your ship is more annoying than you might think at first. The ship itself is something that you also collect materials for to be able to upgrade in terms of speed, firepower, and jump drive range. It's probably your most important exploration equipment, and keeping your ship upgraded and intact will be a great help if you want to reach as far as possible. But if trying to reach the deepest parts of space is not something for you, one of the beauties of the game is that if you want, you can spend tons of time exploring one and the same planet and then just jump over to a neighboring planet and continue to discover there if you want to stay in your own small sector. And all the planets will have different kinds of water life, they will have cave systems and a lot of different sort of environments. Some might be radioactive, some might be more dangerous in other ways, so that's always something you need to take in consider as well. But if planet exploring is not something that you want to focus on, you can just travel from space station to space station and trading post to trading post, buying items at one place and selling them for a higher price at another. Sean Murray does not want you to picture the game as a classic sandbox in the sense, more like a universe that you can choose your own way of playing the game. And depending what you prefer, there will be a lot to choose from. And even though it does not sound like it, the game does have sort of an end game goal, at least for some people. To reach the center of the universe. Getting there will probably take you a long ass time, and you'll probably get destroyed numerous times on the way. And exactly what awaits us there is something we'll have to find out when the game is released on the PlayStation 4 in June 2016. And release dates on other platforms are yet to be announced. I have to say though, I'm really excited for this game, and it's gonna be very interesting to try to explore it. Not only because the idea of exploring a new universe is very exciting for me, the look of the game is very enthralling and very beautiful, and I don't know, it's something that just speaks to me. Does it speak to you? Let me know in the comments below. Also, do you have any unanswered questions after watching this video? Hit me with a comment below and I'll try to answer it to the best of my capabilities. If I'm not able to answer it, maybe some other gentle soul will be able to help you with that. Like and share if you enjoyed, it helps more than you can think. Don't forget to check the description for more interesting stuff used around my channel if you feel like supporting. And until next time, bye.